Ja, wir haben noch eine Frage.
Genau, wir haben noch eine Frage in Englisch diesmal. Vielleicht magst du dann auch auf Englisch die beantworten. Shrey P asks, Concordia is such an elegant game with a simple rule set. When designing expansions, how do you balance creating new and interesting rules, mechanisms, versus maintaining that elegance?
Well, I'm always trying to keep some sort of elegance in my designs. Concordia is a basic system which is quite flexible and quite open for changes, I think. So the main features that you are purchasing cards on your hands, which are your actions at the end of the game. They are your victory points, combined with the resource management and movement on the map, is a system in a whole which is very flexible and open for changes and additions. I think if I'm working on Concordia and try to make something else, I cannot detract from the base game. So the base game is the clear essence of what is necessary, and there cannot be taken something out without destroying the game. But things can be added, and I'm always almost astonished, how flexible the game system is at the end of the day. So if we ate some forums and salsa and fish market, the game still works.
Yes.
And
yeah, that's also something I recognized when I developed the games with you. That you can't destroy Concordia. It's very difficult to do something which wouldn't work at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Well, of course, some people like more the pureness of the games. Others like more detailed rules. So I think Concordia on the whole has been growing over the years. That there should be something for everyone.
Yeah, great.
Hope I answered your question.
We have another one from the chat, and that was, do you plan on revisiting the antique era of games? Because with Transatlantic you went away. I know that Concordia is still always present, but so are there any plans for new games in the antique setting?
In the Antique?
Yeah.
Not in the Concordia.
Also the game, Antique, and also the era.
The era and the game.
Yeah.
I think Antique as a game has been quite well done. So there's the original Antique, there's Antique 2, and there's Antique Dueling for 2 players. I think on the game as a whole, that should be it. I'm not a full-time game designer. I have to set priorities on what I'm working at. But the era, the historical time of antiquity, I always find fascinating, and Concordia as well is a game set in the age of Roman times. I have to say that I had to learn Latin at school for many years. So I was interested in the history. I have been to the Mediterranean at many places, seen some historical sites and old amphitheaters, and so I find that very, very fascinating. It's also something I like about designing games. I come from theme, so with Transatlantic I wanted to make a game about the steamship 100 years ago, the development of steamships, and did a lot of research on that, and then the game developed from that. And we tried a lot of mechanisms to capture a game of steamships. It's not that I'm starting with a mechanism and then what theme could fit that, but I'm starting with a theme and I'm trying many mechanisms who will fit that theme well. So the historical era of antiquity, maybe there will sometimes come something more. But the game Antiquity itself, I think, has been done for many years. Yeah.
Right. So this was already one of my questions, because I wanted to ask you about the historical backgrounds of your games. And, if this is profession, or have you ever thought about studying, I don't know, history or something like that, or?
Well, as a schoolboy, I liked the history and things like that, and I was still going to school when I started to design my own board games. So in the 70s, I made my first prototypes, print and play, and not print, but paint and play. I didn't have a printer at that time. So what was the exact question?
No, it was just in this historical context.
Yes, in this historical context, and my interest in things started through that, and then during my time at university, I studied economics. I also was visiting classes of risk theory and game theory and things like that. So I was
something that helped probably later, right?
Yes.
And
yes, and you can also see maybe there's always an economy of some sort in my games. You're trading things and buying and selling and building up some economic engine, so that Navigator is a good example where you have a big market. So that's something which may be connected to my study of economics.
But you always try to make it to streamline your games, right? You don't complicate them, or what is your way of designing them?
That's a good question. I like simple and clear rules, and I like simple and short terms. That's what I'm liking the most. And if there's a problem in the game development process, and the process can take several years. I mean, to develop Concordia took me 3 years development, and with many ups and downs and here and there. So it's not an easy task. But I think the real challenge is not if you encounter any problem anywhere. It's very easy to go, if the game goes in that direction, I don't want that to move in that direction, then I make a rule that this is not allowed. And then there come many rules, what is allowed, what is not allowed, and under which circumstances. I'm trying to make basic, simple rules which ensure for themselves that the system is not growing. I mean, you should play a game, and you should think about your strategies, and you should not only follow the rule book and here and there. That's something which I do not like so much. I enjoy games most when I play the game without referring to any rule book anymore after I've played the game once.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have room for one question if you have one.
Well, yes.
No
I have 2 more questions.
Okay.
So, first of all, how has your design work changed with Corona? I mean, I can say, for example, we have the window open here, and it's quite cold here. You can't see it, but yes.
Corona's terrible. It is. Well, if you design games, you're not sitting at home and on your own and thinking about this and then it will work. It's highly dependent on playtesting and people to play with. It's playing games is a very personal thing. You have to do it in person. You have to see the faces of the people, how they react. You have to feel the emotions of the people when they play, if they like it or not, if they start to play with a cellular phone or if you still follow. And so there are many things you can see at the table which are very important when developing a game, to see if the game works well or not. Because the game should be designed in a way that people enjoy it and want to play and not distract themselves from something else. So I was planning this year. I was planning a trip to Portugal. I was planning a trip to Italy. I was planning a trip to Spain, and I even wanted to visit the United States for the first time in my life, where I haven't been before. And all these plans have been ruined by Corona. It's not possible to go around, meet people, talk to them, try to find some new ideas or impressions. So that's something I'm missing very much. And we also I used to play at least once a week with someone. So with Corona that doesn't happen anymore that much, and that's less fun in life, but also for the work of a game designer is disastrous, because you're so dependent on the reaction of the people, and also it's not only my work, Concordia, it's not only me. There are so many people who have contributed to that game with their ideas and with their suggestions and how this and that and this it's a real hindrance in game design. It is.
Right.
Yeah, and so I think there won't be there hasn't been now a new expansion for Concordia. The first year without Concordia expansion since it has been released in 2013.
Right. Okay, maybe the last question. Do you have? I mean, you worked on Transatlantic 2,
Yeah.
but I would say it's nearly finished. Can we say that? Or there's not so much.
From
I mean,
from your reactions, the people with whom I play,
Yeah.
I think it goes down very well. It goes very well. But I would like to see the reactions of other fans all over the world, how they react and when they play before publishing.
So what is in the pipe for the future? Have you?
Oh, I have some projects in my house. You have been playing something with me last year, but
there's one final question from the chat.
nothing I can speak of.
Okay. Shrey P asks again, normally your games are large scale, you look at the whole world or the
big maps.
Do you have interest in doing something with a small scale, with, I don't know, a village or something like that, so that it's a more specific tiny scale?
Is it a scale for the number of players, or
no, maybe building a small village or something like that. Not a big world or whatever.
Not the big view on on nations and worldwide trade and things like that, or a village or a castle or anything small. Well,
it never occurred.
Well, I think I did something many years ago. I had a game about a city, a city where you grow the buildings and develop several quarters of the city, and where you put on and you raise older buildings and build newer, and there's a skyline of skyscrapers developing in the game. So that was about the city of Hamburg I started with, and then make a variant about Shanghai and things like that. Because New York has been overdone, but so it's possible, but my primary interest is more on the large scale. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
Max, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.